Mr. President, how long must women wait for liberty? Mr. President, how long must women wait for liberty? Those were my words and my battle cry as a suffragist in the early teens of the United States history, in the 19-teens, 1911s, on up to 1917. So many of my suffragist sisters and I wanted to have the right to vote. For you see, in our land at that time, only 12 states west of the Mississippi, 12 out of 48 states allowed women to have the right to vote. 20 million women did not have the right. And with my Quaker upbringing, my father taught us that all it takes for evil to take over the world is for a few good people to do nothing. He also taught us that when you educate a woman, you educate a family. So when I graduated from Swarthmore Quaker School, where I met Alice Paul, who later became friends with Lucy Burns, it became a natural for me to want to do something for other people, for that is indeed how I was raised. So as I gathered with my suffragist sisters, we began plans for welcoming Woodrow Wilson to Washington, D.C. in 1913. He arrived on the 3rd of March. He arrived at Union Station to discover there was virtually no one there to greet him because 100,000 people were lined up on Pennsylvania Avenue watching 8,000 of my suffragist sisters and myself march to get the point across of how important the Susan B. Anthony Amendment was. But our story really didn't begin there on the 3rd of March in 1913. It began back in 1776 when Abigail Adams wrote to her husband John while he was at the Continental Congress in Philadelphia, "John, remember the ladies." Sadly, the doctrine of this great land did not include the female pronoun, so women were prohibited from doing all kinds of things that they might have otherwise. Time went on. 1848 came around. Elizabeth Cady Stanton, Lucretia Mott, and Susan B. Anthony came together to form the very first women's convention in Seneca Falls. There they drafted doctrine with the help of the wonderful Frederick Douglass, who said women should have equal rights as men. 300 people attended that convention, and Frederick Douglass told the people there words that were as important then as they are today, that when one group of people is not cared for, is in fact feared and treated with disparagement, then there is no freedom for them or anyone else in this land. He also taught us suffragist sisters that the way to make a difference was to agitate, agitate, agitate. And so we knew we needed to do what we needed to do.